On this episode of Modern Greaser, we're going to be comparing this 2014 Tacoma to this 1963 Chevy C10 with a 12 valve Cummins swapped into it. And the comparison is one of these two has to go, because on Modern Greaser we have modern problems. And my modern problem is I have $45,000 in student loan debt, and one of these got to go. And it's gonna be this one. There you go. Spoiler alert. Are you supposed to say spoiler alert first and then tell what it is? But this one's gonna go first. It's got a hood scoop that doesn't work, so that's cool. This one's got the flapping thing that the exhaust shoots out, so that's cool. Windshield wipers, that's great. No windshield wipers that work, so that's cool. All kinds of gauges, gas gauges, and door locks. It doesn't have door locks. I don't have a key for those. I mean, you could get this stuff, but is it really necessary? Disc brakes on this one. However, that has drum and that has drum on the back. So, I mean, it's basically the same technology. What else? This one has park. So I can put this one in park. This one does not. This one has a Allison AT542 in it that is from a truck or a vehicle that has air brakes in it, most likely a bus. And so therefore, when you put it in neutral, she just rolls everywhere. So I was driving this around a lot with a chalk that I was sticking under the tire everywhere I went. And, you know, I fixed that now. I've got a C-clamp in it that goes and locks it in and locks it into place. But I did, you know, sort that out, so to speak, in a real redneck way. But so this is the brake setup in here. It's actually a C-clamp from Home Depot. It's a C-clamp that I cut and I bolted in. And so what it does is you literally just do this and lock it into place, and that actually locks all four of the wheels. Now, if you said to yourself, well, the tail lights are on, I have a switch over here on the dash. I shut my tail lights off, which is good if you're running from the police. You can, you know, shut your tail lights off or whatever. But to release it, there's a little quick release here. Pull it up. Don't let this thing hit you in the nards on the way home, and you're good to go. Looks like zip ties on here. Well, yeah, you're right, it's zip ties. I did this temporarily. This is the other part of the C-clamp. It just matched the same kind of groove on here. I zip tied it in because this is not a permanent solution until I do the disc conversion and end up putting a parking brake on it. But you know what? That works pretty damn good. So that's that. It's better than putting a wheel chock on it and rolling everywhere. With the Pre-Runner, it is a beautiful vehicle. It has 69,000 miles. Let's all laugh about that for a second. But it has 69,000 miles, good tires, good truck, beautiful vehicle. This old dog, Lord knows how many miles. It doesn't have a speedometer or odometer or fuel gauge or, well, let me just tell you what gauges it does have. It has an oil pressure gauge and a temperature gauge. Yeah, that's all it has. So I had to think really long and hard about the two gauges it had, but that's what this vehicle has. To start the comparison process, I think we ought to do a nice slow walk around with this here Tacoma. Nah, it doesn't need a slow walk around, but we still gave it a whirl. This has leather interior. This does not. Ooh, that's a big one. This one has the little flapper. There's no flapper sticking out of the hood on this. Who wants to drive this? A hunk of junk. It has a nice crack in the windshield. That is really good right on the driver's side. That's a great thing to have. This windshield is it's too clear. I don't like windshields that I can see through that are perfect and my visibility is great. I need at least one crack, you know, to give it some character. So that's what you got to consider. With all these things and all the different quirks that this has, it doesn't have turn signals, it doesn't have working windshield wipers, it doesn't have working air conditioning, it leaks when it rains. I don't want to drive it in the rain because I'm worried about it getting rusty. I've got all these quirks and it's super loud. I wear earplugs like a weirdo, right? It's got all this stuff. Yet, I love driving this one because the heart knows reason for which reason knows nothing, and my heart does not love this truck as much as it loves this one over here. So, I need some floating hearts. If I'm good enough, I'll make some little floating hearts come off. I'm probably not that smart to edit that in, but just picture that in your mind, some floating hearts. I can go buy one of these tomorrow. It's a great truck. It's awesome in every way. It's got decent fuel economy, It's fun to drive, it's clean, it's safe, it's...
She doesn't have power steering. That's something that would be pretty sweet to have some power steering.
This one does not bring me as much joy as this one. Now, is this one scary to drive? Absolutely. The brakes are terrible. It's got drum brakes. The springs are, every freaking manhole I hit is like boom. It sounds like the Titanic's crashing into an iceberg. So it's really not the greatest thing in that regards. However, it is way more fun to drive than this over here. So I am going to get a nice 2005 4Runner. So this is the 2005 4Runner that I got for $5,500. And it's pretty sweet. How did I get bird crap on it already? So I'm saving $350 a month versus the Tacoma. However, it looks almost identical. It drives identical. It actually rides a lot better because there's not leaf springs in the back. This has 4-wheel discs. The Tacoma had drums on the back. Not that that's a big deal. These bad boys are genuine 2014 Toyota Tacoma wheels and tires. I made the switch using this to pull a giant trailer, the same one that I pulled with my Tacoma, and it will pull it the exact same. That's what's amazing. The trailer brakes are plug and play. Everything works, so it's got the same towing capacity. One thing that I like about it is it has this really cool feature. What? Who's doing that? Who did what? Who did that? What is the name of the show? Modern. So thanks for tuning in to another episode of Modern Greaser.